Well, hey everybody, this is Norman,
And Debbie.
and we're here at the end of week 5 at the legislative session, so we are over the halfway point and things are really getting crazy. Today we want to talk to you about 7 different bills, so we'll hit them all rapid fire. Why don't we start with the critical race theory bills?
Okay, so yesterday in House Education, there were 2 bills on critical race theory. 1012 would prohibit critical race theory in higher ed, so the college level. And that passed pretty easily. They had a little amendment on that. And then the K-12 one was 1337, and that got amended pretty heavily, but it still has the key language on keeping critical race theory out of the schools. So both of those will be on the House floor probably Monday. Yeah.
Perfect. Next we'll talk about House Bill 1005. This is the Student Privacy Act, basically saying that locker rooms, restrooms, etc., boys will go to the boys, girls will go to the girls. This failed in Senate committee this week. We had one of our former interns, you remember seeing Grace Sargent from last week. She came back to the Capitol this week to testify on the bill, but we still saw that die in a Senate committee just last night. Do we want to go into state motto next?
Yeah, this was a win. So this bill also came out of House Education, and it passed the floor pretty heartily yesterday. And this was simply that the state motto has to be posted in the school. The bill provides a lot of flexibility, so they could have student artwork. Anyway, it was a great bill, and it passed the House.
Cool. And then let's do organ transplant as well.
Oh, yeah, this was another great bill. This was to make sure that there's not discrimination against people with physical and mental disabilities when they're being screened for organ transplants, so that they could receive the organ. That also passed the House unanimously this week.
Cool. And next we'll move to the gambling expansions. There's multiple this year. We've already been able to help stop 2 gambling expansions, one dealing with video lottery, one dealing with sports betting. We were glad to see those go down. But Senate Joint Resolution 502 is still alive. This would do sports betting on a mobile platform statewide. So when we passed it on the ballot recently, that said just in Deadwood. It's you and your buddies with a burger watching the game at a casino. 502 brings it to a whole nother realm where on mobile platforms statewide, and so the potential for addiction just really goes up. So that's passed the Senate. It's now on to House. It'll go through House committee if it goes through their House floor. So we're going to try and stop that one there.
Yeah, and then another bill that came out of committee yesterday was House Bill 1246. This just declares that parental rights are fundamental. That came out of House Judiciary. And it doesn't mean that they're absolute. Like, if there's a good reason for the state to intervene because of abuse, that can happen. But it's a very small statement bill. Came out of committee 13-0, and we will see that on the House floor on Monday.
And then the final one we'll talk about is sort of a package of 2 competing bills on the topic of commercial surrogacy. So Senate Bill 137 will be on the Senate floor next week, and this is the bill that sets up that you can transfer parenthood by contract. The commercial surrogacy industry, this would make their life a whole lot easier because they could continue operating their business here in the state. But the problem is they're transferring children and the parental rights to those children based on a contract. This really commodifies the kids. It treats them as a product. And back in the 80s, New Jersey actually did a legislative task force to study this topic because they said, hey, we don't know much about this. Go study it. Come back with a report. The official report said that this legal framework is indistinguishable from the buying and selling of children. So Senate Bill 137, we really want to see that bill go down just because it's detrimental to the idea of parental rights, like we were talking about earlier, but also the rights of the child, that they have a right to their mother and father and a right to not be transferred in a contract. So then the other option is people have been asking, okay, so what do we do? And we would point to the fact that we have the adoption codes on the books. Right now, all of our adoption laws are written with the best interests of the child in mind. And so if 2 sisters or 2 friends, they want to do an altruistic surrogacy, it's possible for them to use the adoption codes, make sure that what they're doing is in the best interest of the child, and go through with that surrogacy. So that's where we're at with commercial surrogacy. Both bills will have a hearing in a committee on floor this upcoming Monday. So we'll see some traction on the commercial surrogacy topic. But to see all the bills we're following this year, taking action on, go to fhaaction.org. You can see all the videos we're posting, all the bills we're taking action on. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.